I would say New Wave is an artist studio meets a store. I really didn't want the store to just be like about people buying things. I wanted it to be like literally a representation of like me and my art. The store started way back, kind of concepting in my mind. Like in high school, I was always into fashion and doing my own thing and just living life non-traditionally. I ended up just having a garage sale. This was by total chance. People just like came out of the woodworks. Like I thought I was just gonna have this like, I don't know, maybe make $200 like setting up at my dad's like driveway. And so those were good trial and error, and that's when things really started to change. After working at Barry's, I saw how much money there was in Husker game day stuff, but being that I was like the assistant GM there, I obviously had not 1 hour of free time to add anything personal onto my schedule. And so now I was like, okay, wait, it's like April, May, football season's not until August, September. Like I have months that I could like put something together for Husker season. So all like May until August, I just went thrifting and got as much Husker stuff as I could possibly find. Like all over the state of Nebraska, like dipped into a little bit in Iowa and Kansas. And I had a couple hundred pieces, and not even all of it was necessarily like Husker, but just like really cool red and white sweatshirts or fun red denim pants, like things that girls would definitely want to wear. I had this pop up 1 week before the first Husker game day. It started at 10 a.m. and I'm like looking outside and there's like already a line at 9:30 in the morning, and I was just like, I think I felt in that moment like this is really where like this career is about to take off. It was just like authentic, it was raw, it was like very niche. Like I advertised vintage Husker, that's what was there, and people were like, all right, so when's the next one? And I was just like, well, that was all my stuff, like it's pretty much gone. Like I just spent months curating this whole collection, and I just had so many inquiries that I was like, well, I'm not gonna let this opportunity pass. I think I ended up having 11 pop-ups that fall. I just hustled so hard. Like I used to, sew and rework some stuff. I tried to go to Lincoln for more of the pop-ups, and I would say like that first pop-up was say 100% Husker stuff. And throughout the 11 that fall, I just slowly started to integrate like non-Husker clothing. This is right as the whole pandemic was going on, so that didn't make opening an actual brick and mortar any easier, but that's kind of why I did end up stopping the pop-ups, because at the pop-ups like there would be huge crowds. Like some of the ones I would have at the store, there'd be like 100 people in the room in like an hour, and obviously that had to get cut. So being able to have the store, I can more easily monitor like the flow of traffic. There's 3 rooms in here, so people could space out. I'm much more about building like an actual experience in person, especially because so many more brands are moving more and more online, that I think people miss that like authentic, like real tangible experience that you get in store. You can come in, you can smell the store, you can hear the music, you can feel the fabric, you can try it on, you can see the different displays and the little quotes around. Like you don't get that when you're just looking at a website. When I was doing the pop-ups, it was just clothes and it was just me and my curated collection. But once I had the store, like it maybe doesn't seem that big in here, but it is a lot of square footage. Like there's a lot of shelves and corners to fill, and I was like, I can't just have clothes in here, nor do I want to. Like now this is the fun part. I have a store. I can have in whatever I want in here. I can have the jewelry and the coffee and everything like that. And it's honestly just overwhelming how many different vendors you can have. It was really hard, and I just wasn't prepared for like, I don't know, navigating those waters, because that wasn't really what I started doing. So I kind of pulled the reins back and was like, okay, there has to be some parameters here for what brands we want to carry. Like, what do I value and what do I stand for as a business, and do these people and brands like stand for the same thing? So often I will look for vegan products, cruelty-free, women-owned, other small businesses. If they're local, awesome, but I also just really like finding really small brands that like no one else has ever heard of, like a random candle girl out of Vancouver, or like these pants I found in Marfa, and there's a candle over here that I found like through her store and meeting her, and was like, yes, I want to carry that in my store. Or this ring that I found in New Mexico, like, because then they're sentimental to me, and they just have meaning. And especially in a world where we have so many options, like I want to make my choices count. I have 3 people that I like embody. One girl is a girl that lives in New York City. She wears like more edgy street style clothes. She's like in a hoodie, big sneakers, denim jeans. She like cusses, she likes to drink out with her friends. It's kind of like more edgy like that. And so I feel like you can see that in the vintage t-shirts, and like a lot more, my music selection is a little more like EDM or like the neon sign. The second girl is like this boho, like me today, that like lives in the desert, is like all vegan, really likes her solitude, is like totally minimalist, lives in this little adobe hut, and you can see that in the rainbow room through the rainbow and like the wicker and the macrame and more of like the actual physical art pieces. And then the third girl is like this moody artist who like lives in Amsterdam, and she rides her bike, and she loves flowers, and she loves picnicking, and dresses like maybe a little more girly. And I really feel like after hearing that, people can see like those 3 embodiments of me like come out in the store more. And they're very different people, but like I'm all of them, just depending on the day. Some of them come out more than others.